Because again, the Lord is very specific as to how he wants his Passover. And then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
Remember when he says strangers, those are not the other nations. Those are the strangers of our people, of the other tribes. They're not talking about Ham or none of those other nations.
Okay. Verse 50. Thus did all the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. So they did what the Lord Yahweh commanded them. And it came to pass the selfsame day that Yahweh did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. So the Lord delivered us on this very day. So,
that concludes the reading of Exodus 12. Unless anybody got anything else to bring out, we're going to do the remembrance of Yahawashi's body and blood now. All right, and then from there commence with the festivities. As far as other scriptures on the Passover, I have literature. I think the brothers from AOC, we have listing of scriptures that y'all can go over throughout the week, all throughout the Old and New Testament concerning the Passover. Good? So feed your spirit this week for the next 7 days. I mean all the time, but feed your spirit this week with the scriptures on the Passover. Because of time, we just went through Exodus 12, which is the main chapter of the Passover, and we're going to do the remembrance of Yahawashi now and enjoy each other's company, for Pasach 2011. It's a blessing. Good to be here with all you brothers and sisters, man. Love y'all.
Shut off now. Let's go. Shut off now.
Everybody have wine and unleavened bread? If you're not drinking wine, grape juice or whatever. Yayan, grape juice, whatever. Welch's, something. That's sharp. That's sharp. All right, whoever don't have wine, let it be known. If you don't have wine, raise your hand. Or unleavened bread.
That don't mean suck all the wine out your cup to get more.
Right. That's what I just did. Come refill me.
Sounds a rock.
Be sharp. Sharp. That's right.
You breaking out? Oh, okay. Oh snap! This brother really coordinating now. This man's trying to coordinate.
So let's go to Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Read that for me, Yahweh. Look alive, Israel. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. It's Pasach. You're happy to be here, right? Happy to be here, right? All right. Act like it then. Good. Who got next? We got next. For how long? Forever. Good. Read. Deuteronomy 16 and 1.
Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib.
Right, so the month of Abib is the first month according to the Hebrew calendar. Right? And the biblical dictionaries tell you it comes around what's known as late March, early April today. That's where the term April Fools comes from.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right? Because during the history, when a white man took over and changed the calendar, anybody that was still celebrating the New Year in the spring was considered an April Fool. Right? That's where that term comes from. And when did the Lord start our New Year this year? April the 2nd. Right? A day after April the 1st. Right? So it's showing you from the history and the time, the timeline where the Most High could bring our New Year right in around the same time. There's actually a group of Israelites I've seen on YouTube that they celebrate the New Year every year, April the 1st. And they go deep into the history, breaking down April Fool's Day and all that, which they should be celebrating the new moon.
Right.
I guess they just average it out that day. As an Israelite group, they celebrate the New Year every year, April the 1st. Right? So the month of Bib, this is our true New Year that we coming into. We are 15 days into it now. Because the 14th day at sundown, which is the 15th day, brings in the Passover. Good.
Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover.
Well, it said keep the Passover, celebrate it. Good.
Unto Yahweh thy power.
Good.
For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
Come on.
Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahweh thy power of the flock and the herd in the place where Yahweh shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction.
Right, the blood of affliction. Unleavened bread also is symbolic to the affliction also. Good.
For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificed the first day at even remain all night until the morning.
Right, so it's just reiterating the ordinance in Exodus 12. Where the Most High said, eat all the lamb that night, and if any remain in the morning, burn it. Right, good.
Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, but at the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose to place his name in.
Which is what? What is that place? Shamwala? Current. Right, but right now we in captivity, so we keep the Passover wherever it's convenient for us, because we rehearsing the righteous acts. Right, but back then when we got set up as a nation and everything was in order, we were supposed to come up to Jerusalem for the feast days. Especially the major ones.
Brothers broke down that Harlem actually comes from a term Harashalam, which is another name for Jerusalem.
Right.
Which is where we at. Harlem, which is where we at right now, actually comes from Jerusalem.
Right, and the rectangular shape of Harlem, the city of Jerusalem was shaped the same way. When you check out the history on how Jerusalem was situated and how Harlem is situated, they was shaped the exact same way in that rectangular form. Right? Remember what that movie American Gangster? Denzel said, I own everything from 1/10 to 155th river to river. When you check it out, that's a rectangle. Yeah. Right? 1/10, 155th river to river. Right? That's a rectangle. And the city of Jerusalem was set up the same way. That's why if you check it out, the spirit of the truth and black consciousness is mainly where? In America, in Harlem. Right? Harlem is known for black consciousness, and Harlem is also where the main source of Israelite teaching came out of. Right? Because it's spiritual. Everything is spiritual.
That's why Esau's trying so hard to gentrify Harlem too.
And then you got Simeon up in Washington Heights, which when you check it out in Joshua, Simeon lived within Judah's.
Right.
So it's the same thing, man. Right? Everything is spiritual. When you check it out, Simeon lives Washington Heights, Judah's Harlem, or one and the same. And in the ancient time, Judah's land was so big that they gave Simeon a portion within their land.
Right.
I think you can read that in Joshua 19, I believe it is.
Okay.
Or either 14, one of them. So everything is spiritual. It all comes back in the spirit.
Let me add on to that. It's like the brother said, like they had it in a rectangle, which is a square, which is a cube, because we did everything in a circle. So when you divide a square in 4 parts, you have 4 90-degree angles. 90 times 4 is 360 degrees.
Wow.
Okay? That's how we did it. We did it in sections like that in circles. But it was a square or rectangle.
Yeah, Quap?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the Harlem is not only based on Jerusalem, but it's the same exact layout. Because the brothers in the Netherlands, the Israelites in the Netherlands, they created the city of Harlem based off of the exact schematics of Jerusalem. And then when they came here as the Black Dutch, they rebuilt the city as Harlem here. Because the Black Dutch was the original founders of Harlem here in New York. So it's the exact architecture, exact layout.
All right. Same exact thing. Right, so you know that's some deep history. You know, everything is spiritual, man. Everything is spiritual. It all comes back to us being as a nation, and that's why the white man want Harlem now, so he can break that spirit. Right. Good. What do you say, Al? All right, don't drink the wine or the juice yet. We're gonna all do it together. All right. Good.
But at the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose.
Right, just like we read in Exodus 12. Good.
And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein.
Right, meaning, you know, you're supposed to keep it as a holy day and a Sabbath. All right, and it was no work therein, but like we read earlier, the preparation of the food for the Passover. All right, everybody understand? Jump down to 16.
Verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy meals appear before Yahweh thy power in the place which he shall choose. In the feast of unleavened bread.
Right, so these were the 3 main mandatory holy days that Israel was supposed to keep to the Most High. Good. And all the holy days are important, but these were the 3 main ones because when you check out the history of Israel, these 3 main days, they were centered around the harvest season. And Israel, we were an agricultural nation. Right, that's when we made our longest green. Right, so these 3 main holy days, they were centered around the crop season and the agricultural season. Right, so go ahead.
And in the feast of weeks.
Good.
And in the feast of tabernacles.
Come on.
And they shall not appear before Yahweh empty.
Right, because you brought a portion to the priest and a portion as an offering to the Most High. So like when you come to the holy days, you don't come empty-handed. Right, you give an offering or a donation, or you bring some wine, or whatever you can afford. All right, don't just come up here. You got the biggest piece of lamb, biggest cup of wine, and come yashala. You know, give an offering, man. All right, go ahead.
Every man shall give as he is able.
Right, as you're blessed. Right. What the Most High give you, He knows what He give you. So you know what you're capable of, what you're not capable of. Something reasonable within your means. Good.
Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahweh thy power,
Come on,
which he hath given thee.
Right, because the Most High said, I'm the one that blessed you anyway. Right, so give according to your able. The Lord said straight up, don't come empty. Right, and that's that spirit. That's a Jake spirit. Right, like in the world, you go to a party. I mean, you ain't come up in here with nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you, man? You know people gonna talk about you. You know, so you know you're gonna get talked about. And he came up in here, had the biggest plate, he got when the refrigerator got the big 22-ounce beer and didn't bring nothing. Right, threw up all over the place, ate so much, drunk so much, you know. So the Most High, you know, the Most High said, you know, don't come empty. Right? Because the Lord, that's why He said give as you're able, because the Lord know what He blessed you with. Right? The Lord know. You don't think the Lord know what He give you? Right? So that's what, you know, the scriptures say. So any questions? Any comments? We ready? Akin, we ready?
They put their goodness